about this all morning. We're so very excited. Are you guys actually yawning?
Well,
little bit. We're good though.
Up at 5 in the morning. I mean, you can't complain.
Welcome,
really, 'cause
yeah.
welcome
Get in
to your
line,
world.
right.
That's vocal warm-ups. It's not a yawn. It's vocal warm-ups.
That's well put. Hey, we welcome new kids on the block back to Boston. It's a Magic 106.7. It's great to see you guys. How are you?
Good.
Great.
106.7.
And he knows the jingle too. That's even better.
Do you know how excited we have been that you guys are coming in? Kendra, can you see all the merchandise she brought in? She has the new kid watches.
Kendra's family. I got the watches
Look at
right
that.
there, Kendra.
Oh my God.
I don't think there's anywhere you guys can go where people don't break out buttons and T-shirts and watches and all kinds of swag. I mean, that must feel pretty good even now.
Well, sometimes. When you see something like that, no, it brings back memories,
Yeah.
definitely, and it's cool that it makes you see that people have been supporting us for years and stuff like that, and it brings back memories. So it's nice.
Yeah. Fenway Park, the show is coming up, and it's going to be kind of a Boston weekend at Fenway Park, because Aerosmith is doing one night, you guys are doing a night, you're doing a fan event, I think, the day before.
Yeah.
Correct.
And you've played, what's different about playing Fenway Park than other venues that you played?
It's sort of like, for a Bostonian to play Fenway is sort of like, I don't know, a Catholic to go to the Vatican.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's sacred ground, and when we were kids, people didn't even do concerts at Fenway.
Right.
So the thought of even
Couldn't
doing
go
that
on the field.
No,
I mean,
yeah.
it was,
nobody did that. And then when they started doing the concerts, it was like, oh my God. And, to think that we could play there 3 times, never mind once, is amazing. And, but honestly, anytime we play in Boston, it's just so special after all these years. There's just a relationship that we have with the city that it really feels like just something it's just hard to describe. I mean, we play concerts all over the world, but when we play Boston, it's just different. The applause are louder and they sustain longer, and there's just more of a connection because it's home. And when you do that at Fenway, it just adds a whole nother layer to it.
Yeah.
It's really special.
There aren't many bands that have had the staying power that you guys have had over the years. I mean, when you guys started,
Imagine that.
you were
The Pink
kids.
Watches. When the Pink Watches came out, they said we'd never last.
How old were you guys when this all started? Teenagers, right?
Yeah.
High school.
High school.
Joe was like 12, I think.
Oh yeah,
right?
12 when he started.
Unbelievable.
How is it? I have a big family. I have 4 brothers, and so for those of you who working with your brothers when you're kids, when you're in high school, that's such a different thing than it is working with your brothers when you get a little bit older. But how do you maintain that working, with your brothers day in, day out? It just no one wants to grab that.
No.
Cricket. Well,
Oh, you talking about the brothers, or just brothers?
No, I meant brothers, actual brothers.
Oh, actual
when
brothers.
When you work with your brothers, yeah.
Um,
I mean, I work with my brother. I wasn't on stage. He's a contractor. So I did a couple of summers working with him. We won't do that again. You guys have managed.
Yeah.
Those who are brothers have managed.
I mean,
to
well,
maintain
first
some
of all,
kind
you
relationship.
have to respect each other. You have to get along, and more importantly, when you get on the bus at night, like just go your separate ways, and take a little downtime.
Yeah.
But I mean, me and my brother have a pretty unique relationship. That we went to the same school. We always shared a bedroom from day one. We shared clothes. Then new kids started and shared a bus, and so I mean we've been around each other for forever.
You make it work.
Yeah, the thing with the brothers in the band is you have to know that if you get in a squabble with one, you're probably going to be in a squabble with both. So if there's a big fight coming down, you're already outnumbered 2-1. So you better recruit the other 2 guys very effectively, or you lose.
You don't want to be outnumbered.
That's right.
Yeah.
anything different about performing now than back then? Like, what is it? Does it feel different in terms of?
God. Everything is. No, well, we can make creaky bones jokes and all that stuff, but honestly, I think I could speak for the group when I say this, but it's sort of like, when an athlete gets more experienced, or like Michael Jordan retired and then came back the second time around, and everything slows down. It's just, you're much more grateful. I think we feel so much gratitude every night we go on stage. Things move at a different speed, and I think we accept who we are and you know, people say like boy bands have specific roles. We do have roles. You know, we some of us are better vocalists live than others. Some of us dance stronger. Some of us. So we each play our part and accept it. You know, we're not trying to do more than we can handle. You know, we've learned to sort of embrace so much more than we used to, and also to embrace the nostalgia. I think that comes with maturity and age too. Is we would probably resist the nostalgia years ago, and now we just embrace it, and now that we embrace it, we've become more successful than we've ever been, because everybody really seems to want that nostalgia right now anyway.
Yeah, we're all in the same boat with that.
Yeah.
How many members of the band have children?
All 4.
Yeah, you know, I mean, all of us have kids. Yeah, do your kids think you're awesome, or do your
Do they
kids just
know
think,
that you're a
"Oh,
big
come
deal?"
on"? You know, there's a small measure of success that, you know, Sue has had, or I've had being on the radio, and my kids just think I'm still the same old, you know, dad.
Awkward, yeah.
It must be different with you guys. It's got to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I've never point blank asked them, "Hey kids, don't you think I'm awesome?" You know, kind of thing. Like, I'm in this incredible band and we travel the world. But I think they probably think it's kind of cool, but it's, you know, we're around each other day to day, so they just see me as a regular dad.
Sure.
That's it.
Yeah, I think of my sons, one of them, they're both musicians. One's in a band, independent, hardcore band. He wants no help from me. He's, you know, but it's funny though, he'll go out with legendary bands, and he'll meet them, like the bands he idolized, and they'll be like, you know, I was a huge New Kids fan. He's like, you know, he doesn't want any help with tour support or anything from me. But my younger son, you know, a lot of our kids work around us. Like my son he's been on every tour we've done for the last decade. He shoots documentary footage and stuff and does pieces for us now. And Danny's daughter worked on tour as a tour manager last tour. So I think they all think it's amazing to watch, but I think they probably compartmentalize it. And it's probably hard, you know. It's a weird thing, you know, to probably see your dad's like doing that. But for whatever we've done, I think we've done it right, because I don't see any of our kids looking like, you know, with that look like, how am I ever going to live up to my parents? I don't feel that from any of our kids. I feel like they're grateful to be around it. They have good heads on their shoulders, and I think it speaks well of all the guys in the band. Our kids seem to be really well adjusted.
That's awesome.
Do you have a favorite song to perform, or is it different for all of you?
No, I'd definitely say it's probably different for
everybody.
all of us.
Yeah. What's yours?
I got a bunch.
Do you?
I mean, yeah. There's there's a bunch of them.
Yeah. Jordan?
I don't know. I always have a hard time with this question. People do ask it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it's different for every tour, because every tour we switch up something about that song in each tour. So I don't
it
know.
must be to do the songs that people want to hear. You know, there must be some work on your part to keep it fresh and exciting and interesting for you. And you try to change them up every time you go out, just to add a little something.
A little something, but you don't want to change it too much where people are like, just sing the dang song.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So we always try to keep it like as they heard it, you know, for the first time.
So it sounds familiar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sound familiar. Yeah.
I find the songs that I didn't really like are the ones that are more fun to perform for some reason. Like
Interesting.
the right stuff. If I hear, like, if I go to like a basketball game, they'll play the right stuff, and it's like I just want to crawl under the seat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in concert, when the right stuff comes on, like the building shakes. Like it's electrifying.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Our record tonight was, you know, at the time I didn't really love the record, but performing it now, it's like it's amazing. We usually do that like out in the audience, and you know everyone's just going crazy, and it's just such a love fest, and it's, how can you not enjoy that? It's so much fun.
I have really bad news. I have the right stuff ready to go. I apologize in advance about that. The show is going to be at Fenway Park on Saturday, September 19th. There is a thing the day before, like a fan event, which sounds really, really awesome. That'll be on Friday the 18th. Tickets go on sale this Friday, but if you go to New Kids on the Block or NKOTB.com, you can find out a little bit more. It's great to see you all. It's always great to I can't imagine you guys together walking up and down the streets of Boston that you don't get crowds everywhere you go. Even here in the
Because
building,
you guys
people
feel
were
like family to us.
Yeah.
You're Boston, so it's just it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we are. And especially it's proven by all
By
of
the
Kendra's
watches.
awesome,
Oh my
awesome
God.
memories.
Look behind
She
you.
came in
Oh,
with
I
this
saw
one.
the
Did you
button.
see the
The
pin?
acid wash
Yeah.
jacket,
Oh
the
my
pin,
God.
the
No,
watches, all of the stuff.
It's almost embarrassing for her, but yeah.
New
No,
Kids
no,
on the
we
Block.
love
Great to have you guys here in studio. Thanks so much for
Thank
joining us
you.
this morning. Really do appreciate it. I take the headphones off because you're not going to want to hear this one.
Oh, Magic 106.7, the right stuff.